Good morning, Dr. Bruce. My name is LaKelvin Sims, and I'll be doing my topic today on whether capital punishment should be allowed in today's society or not. Now, to start off this presentation, I'm going to tell you a little bit about capital punishment. If you don't know what capital punishment is punishment by death, which is usually carried out by the death penalty, the electric chair, lethal injection, firing crew, etc. That's how capital punishment is handled in America today. But why is capital punishment still around? Because in old times, people used to kill people as punishment to their crimes. And it's understandable because they weren't as modernized as we are today and as civilized as we are today. But how have we become more civilized, but we still have the barbaric penalty of actions that result in death? Like, why are we still killing people as punishment to crimes? Now, I agree that people who commit murder, rape, and all those other monsterly crimes, they should be dealt with seriously, and they should probably be punished by death. But as humans, do we have the? I don't think as humans we should have the right to determine who lives and who dies. Like basically, first I'm gonna ask you, why do you think capital punishment is still alive? Why do you think we still use it, despite how modernized and how civilized we have become? Why do we still use capital punishment? There are many other ways we can punish criminals that don't involve killing them. Maybe, I don't know, maybe capital punishment could be a tool in place by the government to control a certain demographic, Maybe capital punishment is used to control the black race. I don't know, I can't give you the answers. I can't give you the answer to that, but I will tell you my opinion over the entire subject of capital punishment, as well as the issue of capital punishment affecting black people. So basically, let me talk about the criminal justice system. The criminal justice system is designed to keep people in society safe. It's designed to keep people safe, and it's designed to stop criminals, to punish criminals, to make criminals not want to commit crimes, to make people in society not want to commit crimes. And you told me that I could possibly die for my crimes, I would probably not commit it either. So in that way, I guess it could scare some people from committing crimes, but I don't know. I think the real great bad people who murder, rape, and all that, I don't think they care about the punishment of crime. So, and when you're in court, and when you go to court for your crimes, facts are presented, evidence is presented, but really, in the court system, it's not about the facts of the case, the evidence you find within the case. It's all about who can present the facts, who can use the evidence the best in the courtroom. Usually, the party with the most experienced lawyer, the lawyer that prepared the most, they're usually going to be that's usually going to be the party that wins the case. In most cases, especially with black males, they're usually handed some court-appointed lawyer, some lawyer that's not top-notch, that's like the bottom of the barrel. The lawyer they just have to give him because it's his right to have a lawyer. And then on the opposite side of him, there's this lawyer who is like this top-notch, is rising in his field. And and he's smarter than the court-appointed lawyer that the black man on trial has. So 9 times out of 10, the black man that's on trial is going to go to jail, and the lawyer in the state is going to win the case. But, hmm. But that doesn't seem fair though. Shouldn't it be about the crime and not, and whether he did it and not about who can disprove what better? Because lawyers are trained to misuse and mislead and misuse evidence and mislead you into thinking what they want to think. Because if I'm the prosecutor, I'm not going to side with the defense attorney and be like, oh yeah, he might be legal. No. I mean, he might be innocent. No, I'm not going to do that for the prosecutor. I'm going to do everything. I'm going to use the evidence that's in the case, and I'm going to make it look like he's guilty. And I'm going to do my best to make it look like he's guilty. And since I'm good at what I'm doing, he's going to look guilty. There's a crazy statistic. 4% of Americans sentenced to death are eventually found to be innocent. And 4%, that's 1 out of 25. That doesn't seem like a whole lot. But think about it this way. To use an example I got from Brian Stevenson from TED Talks in his discussion about racial injustice within the death penalty. To use an example from him, he said if 1 out of every 25 planes took off, would you still get on the plane? Or would you find, now for me personally, I would still get on the plane. If 1 out of every 25 planes that took off didn't land, if 1 out of every 25 planes took off didn't land, would you still get on the plane? And me personally, I wouldn't get on the plane. I'll find another means of transportation. And that's what I think the government needs to do with the death penalty, find another means for punishment rather than killing, right? But using this system where 4% of innocent people could die. Some of them eventually do get off, but other innocent people do die due to the death penalty. What if the death penalty really isn't used to control criminals? Maybe, what if it's used, and I'm saying what if it's used to control a certain demographic such as black people? Now, I said if, but really that could possibly be true. If you just look at the numbers, in Germany, for example, they had the Holocaust. They had the Nazi takeover. In Germany, they killed a whole lot. They killed millions of Jewish people. They put them they did it just brutally. Put them in concentration camps, worked them to death, just flat out killed some of them. It was graphic. If you ever seen any history videos, read any books about the Holocaust, it was a graphic time in Germany. But now Germany has gotten past that. And as fallout from the Holocaust, the German government, they don't use capital punishment. They don't carry out capital punishment because they already have done so much killing of innocent people. They feel like if they use capital punishment, imagine if Germany had capital punishment, they use capital punishment, and most of the people being punished and killed were Jewish people. How would that make Germany look? Just think about that. How would that make Germany look if most people, if they carried out capital punishment and most of the people who died were Jewish? How would they look? How would Germany look? It wouldn't be a good look for Germany. But basically, that's what's going on in America today. Yeah, basically, that's what's going on in America today. And in the old times in America, we had something that was called lynching. During slavery era, during the civil rights era, during the Jim Crow era, we had lynching. And basically what lynching is it's the hanging and killing of a black man by strangulation from a rope, just hanging from a tree. They'll have lynch mobs, they'll have lynch parties, and yeah, it was really gruesome. It was really bad. From 1882 through 1968, about 3,446 black people were lynched during that time period. I'm not talking about how many black people died or were killed by white people. That's just how many black people were lynched, just hung by the rope. And what lynching was, they would have lynch mobs, they would have lynch parties. White people would gather around and watch these lynchings. They'll put it on postcards, and like it was almost like a celebratory thing for the white people. And basically, what capital punishment might be, maybe capital punishment is modern day lynching. I gave you a statistic about 3,446 blacks were lynched during the time period of 1882 and 1968. But black people are still being killed today. They're still being killed off today due to capital punishment. According to capitalpunishment.org, 22% of blacks who kill white people are sentenced to death, as opposed to 3% of whites that kill black people who were sentenced to death. That's crazy. 22% of black people who kill white people are sentenced to death, but when a white person kills a black person, only 3% of those people are sentenced to death. And why is that? I don't know. An even lower statistic, only 1% of black people who kill other black people are sentenced to death. And to me, I don't think that's fair. That doesn't look, if you look at statistics, it doesn't look like it's fair. Why is it when black people die, only 4% of those people who kill black people are sentenced to death? Why is only 4% of those people sentenced to death? As opposed to when white people die, 30% of the killers of white people are sentenced to death. So, I don't know. It's kind of crazy, but I do know one thing. Capital punishment should not be legal in America. It just shouldn't, because if capital punishment is only killing off one race, that looks kind of sketchy to me. Like I said before, if Germany had carried out capital punishment, carried out the death penalty, and most of the people who died in that system were Jewish people, that wouldn't be a good look. Why is America doing that with black people after all the hardships we had, all the struggles we had in America involving blacks and whites, involving blacks, slavery, civil rights era, Jim Crow law, separate but equal. Even today, police officers are just killing black men on the street for no reason. Like, how can we still have capital punishment in place and be so blind to the fact that white people are still trying to kill off African Americans and hold down the demographic? I just think that's interesting how Germany, if we go back to Germany again, how Germany will look bad if they did that, they killed Jewish people. But America doesn't look bad by having a system in place that kills off black people. I don't know, but basically what I think, capital punishment should be outlawed in America. I'm LaKelvin, and thank you for your time.